Hey, Rob here for Quadratec.com. Today we're taking a closer look at two popular offerings from General Tire that are perfectly suited for your Jeep Wrangler or Gladiator that spends a mixture of its time both on and off-road. Now, as you can see, I have the General Grabber ATX, an all-terrain tire, here with me today. I also have the General Grabber X3 mud terrain, slightly more aggressive tire, and we're going to take a closer look at each one of these tires to help you decide which may be the right one for you and how you use your Jeep. Now, no matter which one you ultimately choose, you can be assured in knowing that you're going to be getting a very high quality, well-performing tire that's made right here in the USA. Now, before we take a closer look at each of these tires individually, in general, if your Jeep is going to spend most of its life on the pavement with some occasional off-road use, well, you'll probably want to pay closer attention to the ATX, the all-terrain version of the Grabber. An all-terrain tire in general is just going to be better suited and have better on-road manners, all the while still being a very great off-road performing tire. Now, if your Jeep is going to spend much more of its time off the pavement, or when you do find yourself out on the trail, you're going to be tackling more aggressive types of terrain and obstacles, well, then you may want to pay closer attention to that General Grabber X3 mud terrain tire. Now, with that being said, why don't we go ahead and get started by taking a closer look at the ATX. The Grabber ATX is an aggressive, all-season, all-terrain tire that's going to offer you a great balance of performance off-road combined with on-road comfort. Now, those two things combined are what make the ATX a great option for you if you're somebody who's going to be spending a lot more time on the pavement with some occasional off-road use. So if you're using your Jeep as a daily driver, or maybe even as an overland vehicle, traveling large distances from one point to another on the pavement so that then you can get out onto the trails to explore the backcountry, well, you don't want to glance over that time you're spending on the pavement. That should be comfortable and enjoyable while you're spending that time in your Jeep. The Grabber ATX is a severe weather rated tire. It does feature the triple Mountain Peak Snowflake insignia, along with the ability to add studs to this tire. Well, it should be a very confident and well-performing tire in just about any type of weather condition that you can throw at it. Now, if we take a closer look at the tread blocks on the Grabber ATX, you'll see that our blocks are grouped into 5 major rows of tread across the tread surface of the tire here. Now, those large tread lugs are grouped tight together, and that's what's going to help to aid in giving you a nice, quiet and comfortable and well-performing and handling tire when you're on the road. However, you'll see that we do still have a lot of these great traction cutouts in these tire lugs here that are going to help to aid in giving you some additional traction no matter what type of terrain you find yourself in, whether that be mud, sand, or snow when you're off-road. You're also going to see a lot of great siping through these lugs here, which is going to aid in giving you great wet weather traction when you're on the pavement. Now, if we take a look at the shoulder area of the tire, you're going to see that we've got some great scallops alternating from one lug to the next, and those are going to be there to help create some variety for you to aid in some additional off-road traction when you're tackling those very tough or more difficult obstacles. Now, the Grabber ATX also features General Tire's Duragen tire tread compound. Features a high level of chip and cut resistance, which is going to help this tire to stand up to frequent off-road use, all the while still remaining soft and flexible during even colder temperatures, which are going to help to aid in its on-road manners. Finally, the General Grabber ATX also features their Comfort Balance technology, which is an additional layer of tread compound below the tread blocks, which is going to help to isolate your vehicle from any road disturbances or vibration, all the while giving you that more comfortable ride when you're on the pavement spending longer amount of times in your Jeep. Now, why don't we go ahead and swap out the ATX so we can take a closer look at the X3. The General Grabber X3 is a mud terrain tire. This tire is going to be substantially more aggressive than the ATX that we previously had on the table. Immediately, you can notice the much larger voids between the tread lugs on the tread surface here. That is going to help to greatly increase the level of off-road traction that you get with a mud terrain tire. Now the X3 does sacrifice some of the on-road quiet and comfortable manners, but it has to do that to gain the levels of added off-road traction that we want out of a tire when we're going to be spending much more time off-road or tackling those more difficult, more challenging obstacles. The X3 does feature the same Duragen tread compound that we saw on the ATX to help give you a high level of cut and chip resistance in the tread surface. It's also going to feature some added levels of puncture resistance on the sidewall to help prevent any cuts or tears from rocks that you may rub up against when you're out on the trail. Now the tread surface of the X3 you'll see is grouped into 4 main rows of tread blocks here. Those tread blocks are much larger than we saw on the ATX, and they are spaced farther apart. Now by doing so, we're going to be able to maintain higher levels of traction even when we're traveling through mud, snow, sand, different types of terrain. You're going to see lots of different traction cutouts here in these larger tread lugs to help give you that high level of traction. And we're also going to get that alternating shoulder scallop design here on the outside edge of our tread pattern, that with that tread lug that extends down over the sidewall again to help increase those levels of traction when you find yourself in that challenging terrain. We're going to have these great stone bumpers here that run in the voids between these large tread lugs. They're going to help to eject smaller stones and dirt and debris that get trapped in there to keep those levels of traction high. Those are also going to help to increase the level of puncture resistance we have on the tread face of the X3 mud terrain tire. We are still going to see some great siping here through these large tread blocks, which is going to help to maintain some good wet weather traction when we do find yourself on the road with the X3. Now finally, one of the more unique features with the General Grabber X3 that I like to point out is the availability to get this tire with the red sidewall lettering. Now if you do choose that option, you will also have black sidewall lettering on the opposite side of the tire. The tire is also available with black lettering on both sides of the tire, so you don't see the red on the inside if you like to run the more traditional black lettering on your tire. Now that ATX is available with the more traditional white sidewall lettering on one side of the tire and black sidewall lettering on the opposite side. Now if you guys want to get more information or to find out the list of available sizes for the General Grabber X3 Mud Terrain or the General Grabber ATX All Terrain, or to purchase a set for your Jeep, you can click that info button to head over to Quadratec.com. Of course, if you have any comments or questions about either of the tires we went over today, you can always leave those for me down in the comment section below, or contact us directly at any of the options on the screen. And as always, if you haven't and you like these videos, do me a huge favor, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as the notification icon, so be sure to catch all of our latest videos. Till next time, I'm Rob. I'll see you guys out on the trail.